Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this evening's regular meeting. First of all, I would like to call today's regular meeting to order. Uh, do we have any uh, late items?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have two late items this evening.
Okay.
The first being an amendment to the attachment for Director Schmidt's report that's on the consent agenda. The report and the bulk of the information is the same. There's just a one-line item on each that shows the budget and actual figures for the financials. And then the second late addition is with CFO Bombin's report that the financial statements were provided over the weekend. They weren't ready from our external people until late over the weekend. So they have been provided to council and they are on the website now.
Okay. Thank you. So, a recommendation that the agenda for the regular council meeting of May 11, 2026 be adopted as amended. Moved by
I'll move that, Mr.
Councillor
Chair.
Cunningham and second by Councillor Nish. All in favor? Oppose? Carried. Just for our Councillor Reed Skelton Morvan is joining us by Zoom. So welcome. Public comments regarding agenda items. So I don't see anybody in public here. So we will move to consent agenda. So 5A, council minutes for approval, minutes of special meeting to close of April 27, 26, minutes of regular meeting of April 27, 26, report for SEPT, report from planning regarding development activity report, March 2026, report from the fire chief regarding monthly fire rescue report, April 2026, report from the director of operation regarding operations major project updates. 5C, correspondence for action, letter from the city of Prince George regarding co-sponsorship request of the Northern Rural Homeowners Grant resolution to UBCM. 5D, correspondence for SEPT North Coast Regional District regarding April 2026 board highlights. So recommendation that all items on the consent agenda be adopted or received as requested. Moved by Councillor Nish, second by Councillor Forster. Any discussion? Councillor Forster.
Thank you. I wanted to know if we could take the correspondence for action out for further discussion.
Okay. Yeah, I see. Yes, from our DACO. So yes, we will do that. And next one, big Councillor AD.
I'm not sure whether we need to pull it, but I have some questions about the major project update. So I'll leave it to your discretion if you want to pull it or whether we can just talk about it here. Either way, I'm fine.
You want to say something, CEO?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We can just have discussion on these items.
No?
Yes,
Okay.
we can. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Two or three questions. First is with the Eidsvik Park. This one's been sitting around for a long time, and it's a little frustrating to have an amount of money gathered and put aside for it, and it's stalled. So one of the things that we've talked about is in the event that it became difficult to cross the finish line in terms of the targeted funding, have we begun to put some thought into whether the project itself can be scaled in a way that can get something moving on the budget that it's already in place? So that's one question.
CEO. Pucci?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Staff can take that away. I mean, it's not just about budget, it's also about resources that we have within the department, but we can take that away to see if we can, one, develop a plan with the resources we have to look at some of the work with the money we have. Some of the issue is that if we have an allotment of money, it also can be used as matching funds for other grants. So if we spent that money, then we might not necessarily be able to use that to match with other grants. But we can take that away and report back. I just want to add that that park was we had to focus on the Mariners Park because of a grant funding that we would lose if we didn't move forward with that park. So with the resources we had, we chose to focus on the Mariners Park.
I would just remind myself, I suppose, more than anything else, that it was in the first year or two of my first term that first became a subject of discussion. So my second question has to do with the 3rd and 4th Avenue West stair replacement. I'm pleased to see that the contract is awarded and the project is moving into construction, and that seasonal weather has delayed progress. I think according to the language of the statement, weather conditions have improved. So I guess my question is, when can some of the residents that have been very eager to see that one get moving, when can they expect to see that work start?
Okay. CEO Pucci, and we have any timelines for that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am going to defer that to our Director of Operations.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the question. We actually reached out to the contractor early last week, and they're mobilizing to site later this week to start construction on it.
You have any more?
Yeah, I have one more. The residents will be pleased to hear that, I'm sure. The last one I have is with respect to the water treatment facility. The pilot technology selection is underway with implementation plan for August at Shawatlands. This work will help determine the preferred water treatment plant technology for the city's water footprint and represents an initial step towards detailed design of a future treatment plant. That sounds to me like a mouthful. For one, I'm interested in some clarification about what some of that means in terms of alternatives for technologies and so on, and also whether that represents a concrete step that says to the public that we've begun work towards water treatment, because I know that's a big deal around here.
CEO Pucci?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm also going to defer that to our Director of Operations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Early in the water treatment program, we began taking samples from the various reservoirs we have. So we have 2 water reservoirs, Woodworth and Schwallands Lake, that identified about 4 water treatment technologies we could use. Now we're taking those 4 treatment technologies and doing small scale pilot testing. So more or less, these are treatment facilities that do a 4 to 5 gallons, kind of an hour of treatment on water. And then we're going to look at how those treatment technologies cost, effectiveness, and kind of the end product that's coming out of these. And then the consultant's going to take those results, analyze them, and then give a recommendation for which of those 4 preferred technologies is the best for the community. And then with that information, you go into detailed design. There's another project going concurrently with this where it's location of the water treatment plan. So it's the water master plan. It's looking at the city as a whole. Our system is a little unique where we have some stuff across the harbor, some in town, and this project is going to take the information from here and say the plant should go here with this technology, and then we design it, if that clarifies that a little bit.
Okay. Councillor Eddy?
Thank you for that. I'm eager to see where that goes. It sounds like it's really interesting, and it is encouraging to feel that we're making some progress towards something concrete.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Councillor Cunningham?
Okay, I have a couple of questions. The Public Works Chamberlain Road, which is infamously known as the McCarthy Building. You've got a budget of 3.8 million there. That, that doesn't include the new building, does it?
CEO Pucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So that would include, that would just be the renovations, that wouldn't be including the purchase of the property.
I'm talking about the new building that's being constructed, not the renovations. Is this 3.8 the renovations in the existing building?
No, it's the renovations of both. So there has been money spent already in 2025. So this is the remainder that is being spent in 2026 to finish off the renovation.
So what's the total of?
I don't.
That's a question that keeps popping up. How much
Okay.
is that building costing us?
I can defer that to our Director of Operations. He has that number.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Right now, so the budget for the leasehold improvements, so the building construction, that new building you see there, as well as the existing GM building, is slated for approximately 6 million. Right now, the spend is 4.7 million, and we're very close to completion of that. And then purchase of the property is after that.
So the renovation of the existing building and the new building, if I recall correctly, was a contract for 6 million. Is that correct?
CEO Pucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes. So, but there, it was included the renovation of the existing building and building the new building was a
The
six
6 million
six
did?
mixed billing was $6 million.
So the total cost is $6 million.
Correct. Yes, for all of that work, and then there's the purchase of the building as well.
Okay. And the bridge repairs on Second Avenue, we passed, I think it was 2 point something million with 1 million for contingency fund, and now I see it's at 3.2. So is that on top of the due?
CEO Pucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to ask our CFO to answer that one. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Actually, yes, in the 5-year financial plan, the budget was approved for $3.2 million.
You have anything more,
Oh,
Councillor
that's
Penny?
fine, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any comment on the consent agenda? Yeah, Councillor Forster.
Thanks. I was hoping to revisit the one for action for the city of Prince George asking for us to do a letter of support. This is quite similar to a motion that we've also brought forward. So I'm curious, do we need to endorse it or are we merging ours? What would the process look like?
CEO Pucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know our CFO did some work for the council on that, so I'll ask her to comment whether these are very similar or if they're different.
CFO Bowman.
Thank you. Yes, actually, they're exactly the same. It's the same issue. I believe that because NCLGA hasn't happened yet, that Prince George has also gone ahead and done their own resolution. My expectation is that their resolution will appear at the NCLGA and as will ours, and it will be up to the NCLGA board who's putting together the resolution package to determine which one's actually going to get put forward. It is still the same intent of the resolutions, albeit they're worded just slightly differently, but the end result is still the same. So it will be up to the membership to be able to endorse the resolution, at which point then it will be advanced to UBCM.
Thank you. Councillor Forster.
So I wonder if we could send a copy of ours to City of Prince George, letting them know that we've already approved a similar one that's going to NCLGA, and perhaps we could support that. So I wonder if we can direct staff to do that.
CFO.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
See-
We've got that noted.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else has any more comments on the consent agenda? All in favor? Oppose? Carried. Now we move to reports. 6A, report from the Economic Development Officer regarding application to the NDIT Recreation Infrastructure Program. Recommendation that Council endorse staff's application to Northern Development Initiative Trust's Recreation Infrastructure Program in support of infrastructure upgrades for the Prince Rupert Arena. Anybody move? Moved by Councillor Cunningham, second by Councillor Nish. Discussion? All in, Councillor Forrester?
Thanks. I don't have a problem with this, but I did wonder, it does note in the report that the recreation master plan is currently under development. Do we have a time frame for that?
CEO Pucci?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So it is still in a very rough draft. I think they wanted to have it done by the end of this year. Thank you.
Okay. All in favor? Oppose? Carried. 6B, report from the Chief Financial Officer regarding 2025 audited financial statements. The recommendation that Council accept the 2025 audited financial statements as presented. Moved by Councillor AD, second by Councillor Forster. Discussion. Councillor Nish?
The only thing I was going to ask is, are we going to ask the airport to align with our timing on our audits? Is that the only thing we're going to be doing?
CEO Pucci?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to defer that to our CFO, who will put the documents together.
I'll just say that we need to investigate what it will be the best path forward on that.
Okay. Anybody else? So like some people don't have this audited financial statements. So CEO Pucci, if you want to say summarize anything like so people can know how our audited report looks like, if any red flags or anything, so people can know. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our CFO put them together with our auditor, so I think it's best that she goes through them. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a few things to say. So we have provided a report to council identifying the financial highlights in the attached 2025 audited financial statements, which outline some of the differences compared to the prior year as well as to budget. The statements are a snapshot of the city's financial position at a specific point in time, but they do not tell the story of the city's capital replacement needs. The 5-year financial plan is the forward-facing document which speaks to our plans to replace critical city assets, and these statements represent that the city is following through on the critical projects identified in the plan adopted in previous years. The statement of financial position identifies that the city's financial assets have increased from 142 million to 155 million. If we deduct our liabilities, excluding debt, from the Municipal Finance Authority, we have $39 million in net financial assets versus $10 million from the prior year. Much of these have been earmarked for future capital projects, and the timing of inflows and outflows will continue to be represented as significant swings in the financial assets presented going forward. Taking into account the MFA debt, which is $38 million this year versus $22 million last year, our net financial assets are approximately $400,000 versus net debt position of $12 million in the prior year. So our net financial position improved over the last year by $12.5 million, which is mostly due to receiving the Northwest BC funding agreement in advance of the schedule within the agreement. We spent $43 million in tangible capital assets, but borrowed $19 million, incurred a $10 million obligation to close the Watson Island landfill, and are continuing to receive grants to fund the big project. Looking to Statement B and our total revenues, they came in at $112 million versus a budget of $175 million. The difference is because we did not utilize the grants we thought we would on the big and waterfront projects. Compared to the prior year, we had $33 million higher revenues, mostly due to using more of our provincial water fund grants, receiving 2 years of provincial funding in advance, landfill revenue being higher than anticipated due to commercial tipping fees earned, and unbudgeted revenue from legacy and other development within the city. Continued advancement of the big project will cause large differences on the grant revenue budgeted and reported until the project is complete. Excluding non-budgeted items like amortization of assets, expenses compared to budget are 2.4 million under, due mainly to staffing challenges in policing, parks, and the utilities, combined with favorable winter weather. Compared to the prior year, expenses are fairly flat. The net assets are represented in Note 11 on page 14. The accumulated operating surplus changed by approximately 9 million, spread across the general fund, the 3 utilities funds, and legacy. Lower expenses, higher than anticipated interest, and revenues from development activity largely contributed to the increase. This is essentially working capital that the city can use to fund operations and contribute towards future projects. The city has appropriated $12 million of this surplus to fund projects in budget year 2026. We have a $16 million increase in reserves due to the advance receipt of funding under the Northwest BC funding agreement mentioned previously. City West continues to be worth $48 million, and there is $189 million in equity intangible capital assets, which is what we've spent since the beginning of time on capital projects, less amortization, less debt, and any asset retirement obligations. This is not money that can be borrowed against or balance future budgets. Overall, the city remains positioned to continue the revitalization efforts outlined in the 5-year financial plan and continue service provision. Our auditors have indicated that in their opinion, the statements reflect fairly the financial position of the city as at December 31st, subject to the effects that the airport statements had they been consolidated as explained in the report to council. They will append the auditor's report to the statements after council accepts them. The budget variance that council sees during the year is presented as attachment 2, and you will be more familiar with this presentation. It identifies the capital and non-capital expenditures and the sources of funds to conduct operations and capital projects. Given it is prepared to conform to the community charter and not Canadian public sector accounting guidelines, this statement doesn't make up one of the audited statements and is provided for information only. The year ended with a general operating surplus of approximately 3.2 million due to better than projected interest earnings, revisions and valuations affecting payments, the aforementioned development activity not budgeted, and a light snow clearing year in 2025, not 2026. The sanitary and storm sewer utility ended the year with a surplus of 1.4 million attributed to incomplete projects by year end and reduced staff availability working within the utility. The water utility ended the year with a 2.5 million surplus due to interest earned on grant funds received for the big project. The solid waste utility closed out the year with a 1.3 million surplus as a result of significant commercial building demolition tipping fees received in the fiscal year. Council is asked to approve the 2025 audited financial statements as presented, thereby satisfying the city's legislative requirements.
Thank you, CFO Boban. Thank you for your great work and the staff involved in this. Thank you. So, anybody else has any comment? Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Now we move to bylaws. Highway road closure bylaw number 3657/2025. Recommendation that council gives third reading to the highway road closure bylaw number 3657/2025. Moved by Councillor Nish, second by Councillor Cunningham. Any discussion? Councillor Cunningham?
Just one, it's just an observation. For somebody that's looking at this, especially online, it's so small that I think if planning could actually take a Google view of it and put it in with the report, it would really help some people. Some people just can't see where it is. We know where it is, and in our diagram you can see it's Ninth Avenue and that. But it, in today's technology, another page with a Google look at it would really help people.
CEO Pucci, noted. Okay, thank you. Anybody else has any Council Lady?
We've got a couple of things. The Second Avenue Bridge, the light system there.
So
We gotta finish
Um,
this
we
first.
talk by law.
Oh, I'm
this one.
sorry.
So that's okay.
I'm in the wrong part of the meeting.
That's okay. That's okay. Anybody else has any comment on Paila highway close? All in favor? Oppose? Carried. Okay, now we move to council round table. Councillor AD.
I may be blushing there. Second Avenue Bridge. I've actually got a couple of things, but I go through there every day several times, and it's I think an 85-second turnaround on those lights, and that's fine if you're patient like me, but not everybody is, and more I'm seeing people jumping the light by 10, 15, 20 seconds, and I'm obviously they're voting with their feet, as it were, in terms of their patience, and I'm just wondering whether the duration of those lights is a function of regulations, or is that a discretional thing where we might want to take a look and see if you can shorten the time frame for the lights, so that because I think that traffic would get, it would be very rare for there to be enough traffic that somebody would actually get stopped in the green light section, and I think a lot of people might appreciate that one moving a little bit faster. So I'm putting that in the form of a question.
Okay. CEO Pucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll defer that to our Director of Operations.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The timer is actually set by our traffic engineer, so we hired a outside traffic engineer to set the traffic pattern and light. We can pose that question back to them, but I don't believe it can be changed.
You have anything?
Well, I asked. I know that it would be unfortunate if that ever became something where enforcement became involved, because it's just one of those annoying things, and the RCMP I know has been very busy lately with other issues, and I'm glad they are. But my second comment is a shout out to a group called the Rupert Retreats. I ran into somebody involved with them, and they were about to embark upon a quilting activity that involved something like 80 people. And what they're doing is they're raising funds. So over the past couple of years, they've raised money for the senior center, for the curling club, and so on. It's just one of those ways in which the community quietly does really good things, and I just think that they should be acknowledged.
Yeah, thank you. Councillor Foster.
Thank you. I wanted to just touch on a few important things that have happened this month and will be happening. Starting today is Nurses Week. As you know, I'm a nurse, and I wanted to give a shout out to all the nurses that are working in our communities and caring for all of us. If you have an opportunity, please thank a nurse. Most of us know someone. I also wanted to talk about, I was very excited to attend the May 5th Day for Murdered and Missing Indigenous Women, Girls, and Two-Spirit People at the Civic Center. I'm always impressed by the volunteerism in our community, the people that came out and gave a fair bit of time to make a really successful event. So thank you to those people. I also spent some time volunteering myself, going back to my own childhood at McHappy Day, helping out in the drive-thru, which was a lot more fun than I remembered it when I was working there. So that was pretty nice. They raised money for Ronald McDonald's Children's Charities, as well as for Charles Hayes, some of the different groups they do for life skills work and community events for students. Yesterday was Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mums and pet mums that are out there. And then I mentioned a little bit earlier, but next week I'll be going to represent our community at NCLGA, the North Central Local Governments Association, bringing forward those resolutions that we talked about and advocating for our community. So a lot of really good things happening right now.
Thank you. Councillor Cunningham.
A few things. One, last year our paving contract was approved rather late in the year, and it was a bit of a problem. Where are we with the paving contract this year?
CEO Pucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will be deferring that to our Director of Operations.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We're working on it right now. We're pretty close, hoping to have it out in the next couple weeks.
Okay, and as people probably noticed, the mayor isn't here tonight. He had a successful hip replacement this morning, so I'm quite sure he won't be waddling down the street like he normally does anymore, we hope.
Yeah.
And also, I asked last meeting for information for updates on the final cost of Apple 8 and a few other projects. And I'd like to get them for next meeting if we can.
CEO Pucci.
And on the note of the quilters, the group of quilters in town, they've stepped up at the senior center as well and in other places and donated quilts and things like that for raffles. They fly under the radar quite a bit. They're a group of ladies. Once a month, they all come together at the senior center and quilt away, I guess you could say. But you know, they're and the volunteers in this town, they're quite. There's quite a few of them, but we need more. You know, like it's Seafest is coming up in a month and a bit, or not even a month and a bit, and things like that. It requires a lot of work and effort, and it brings a lot of people into town. So I'm hoping anyone that has spare time, especially, it's no fun being a volunteer at Seafest and watching everyone else party and have a good time, but you know, we could use help with special events and things like that. Okay.
Thank you. Councillor Nish.
I was out of town last week, so I never got to experience it. But I hear the new A&W was causing some chaos driving down Third Avenue. But I just wanted to welcome a business that tried and finally made it work to get here. And hopefully that'll just be the beginning of more businesses looking to set up in our community. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. I drove past there today for the first time and saw the drive-through was completely full right to Third Avenue again, and it was like 3:00 in the afternoon, which kind of surprised me. But I just wanted to say thanks for coming.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. So yeah, like Councillor Forrester already say about the nurses week. So my two daughters are also nurses, so I know their hard work. So on behalf of the city of Prince Rupert, I would like to thank their hard work, dedication, compassion are truly inspiring and make a significant difference in the lives of so many people. Thank you, all nurses. With that, okay, Councillor Cunningham.
We've had a discussion about it, but Trina Stegovic and Teresa Lee both have I Love Prince Rupert. They put the one on the dock that's well attended and a lot of people use it. They have two more to go somewhere in the city. And we started on this project actually last fall. And it's now tourist season, and it would be nice to see them out within the next month. We've already had 2 cruise ships here, and if one could be located down there, you know, I've had conversations with Deputy CAO Rosenmiller about it, but you know, I can't imagine people getting a picture with I Love Prince Rupert and a cruise ship in the background of that, and that going all over the tourism circuits and that. It would be a big boon to it and that. So I think it's something I know everyone's busy, but you know, it's one of those things. I think if we took a couple of hours and put our heads together, we could come up with something, because you know, when when we had a discussion with the port about it, they were talking about how lack of things to do in town, and you know, I'm quite sure there'll be lineups on cruise ship day for something like that.
CEO Pucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we are actively working right now with them. We have, I think, 3 potential locations, and we're trying to narrow it down right now. So it is a priority for us to get it going for cruise ship season.
Thank you. So if no more comment, then time to adjourn the meeting. So moved by Councillor AD, second by Councillor Forster. All in favor? Oppose? Meeting adjourned.